Hi, I'm Merna, and this is my design for a tiny house. I called it Bunker 47, and I'm very excited to share it with you. So, I chose this project as my inspiration. It really caught my eye. It's called Cabin Jude. It's based in Australia, and it's part of a series of cabins created by this company for travelers and tourists. So the thing that really caught my attention with this at first was the form, the tapered wall here, tapered floor here was really interesting because for a house of this size, usually you don't see a form change like this. This house is only 15 square meters, so it's very small. Um, the other thing that I really wanted to incorporate, which I'm a big fan of, is the facade style. So it's like wood panels and matte black aluminum finish. Um, it's like a modern take on a log cabin kind of situation, which I really enjoy. And then on the interior, I really adore the way that they stacked the bedroom as a loft, and they have a ladder to get up there, and they also stacked the cupboards all the way to the ceiling as a way to save space. And that's one thing I tried to emulate as well is the hallway through the center with spaces on either side. And then the thing that was really impressive also is the amount of windows they have in there for the size of this cabin, especially in the loft area. They still managed to get a lot of views into the quote unquote bedroom. So those are things I really wanted to take into my own design. This is what I initially started out with, and the idea here was to do something really fun with the roof so that I didn't mess too much with taking away space from the layout. And I came up with a curved roof situation and also borrowed the tapered wall from Cabin Jude. And although this was a good start, I got some feedback that helped me move forward towards my final submission. So the feedback that really changed things was that it is a bit too complicated for high schoolers to build um, a curved roof like that. It would take some advanced carpentry, which might not be possible, and as well as the tapered floor. And so that's something I would have to change. In terms of the layout itself, it was just too long, too dragged out the hallway. So you'd walk and you keep walking until you reach the living room. And the living room is underwhelmingly small. And so feedback was to rearrange that front foyer area, maybe bring the bathroom in and shorten the kitchen a little bit so that it's not too too long, too overwhelming. And so that takes my beginning concept being a cozy cabin style home providing an affordable haven for students and young professionals to something a little bit different. So this is my design proposal for this tiny house. The concept is now become Cabin 47 explores the junction of the familiar cabin-style home, the function of affordable dormitory apartments, providing a practical and comfortable refuge for students and young professionals. And I really wanted it to feel like home is my main goal. So not just like an Airbnb type situation where it's novel and fun, but it's also comfortable and it feels safe, even though it's very small. So my first strategy here was to provide a sense of shelter. And I did that by keeping this overhang throughout my entire design. I wanted it to be a place where if you're running from the rain or the snow, you can just sit under there and find your keys and open the door, or meet a friend or so on, right? And my second strategy was to embrace natural lighting. Because of the inspiration that I got from Cabin Jude, I really wanted to emulate that by adding as many windows as possible. And although I couldn't really um, be creative with verticality in the windows just because of the placement of furniture and stuff, I did place like clerestory windows here at the top of this wall here, which adds additional lighting into the open space in the living area. My third strategy was to prioritize comfort. As a student, studying someplace that's not comfortable doesn't last very long. And so that's something that I wanted to make sure student has in this house. And so I moved the study space here next to this corner just so that there's not too many distractions, but they're still by the window. They still get light. But they have like a quiet kind of tuck away nook where they can study. Um, in terms of the layout, I shortened the kitchen and the washroom. I brought the washroom to the right, and I moved the foyer from the bottom right to the top. That way, the living space has more area to breathe, and it's not very claustrophobic. And the bedroom has stayed the same. It's taken just as much space as it has before. And in addition, I added a nice little concrete walkway with a fun shape around, just as a place where, exiting through or entering through the side door would not be a chore, but be fun and nice. So this is um this is my final design. Thank you.